And that breaking news coming to us from Milwaukee's South Side this afternoon. Chopper 4 with Power Zoom live over Forest Home in West Lincoln Avenue, where a U.S. Marshal shot and wounded an armed fugitive earlier today. We just had a news conference with Milwaukee County DA and a spokesperson for the U.S. Marshal's office about 30 minutes ago, and they told us that what happened was a foot chase ensued between several U.S. Marshals and an armed suspect that resulted in the Marshals opening fire on the suspect. As you just saw right there, Jermont Terry, it looks to be in the middle of a bit of a melee of a He's talking to the suspect's dad right now. Let's listen in.
We're going to chime right in. This is the suspect's father. He just arrived on scene. Let's listen to what he has to say.
A lot of kids are getting killed out here, and they don't have no excuse but that they drew a weapon or anything. Who knows if they planted a gun on them? How many cops have done that? We got 30 cops here in the city, too.
What can you tell us? We're live on today's TMJ4. What do you know about what happened to your son this afternoon?
Nothing. My son came to my house the other day. He was there with his girlfriend. She's pregnant. He's been changing his life and every time to get a job. It's impossible for him to get a job because he just got out of prison not too long ago.
According to the U.S. Marshal, they say that he was running from him in a car, and then it was a short pursuit in the car, and then also he got out of his car, showed a gun, and then that's when some shots were exchanged. When was the last time you talked to your son, and are you positive that this is your son that was involved?
My son. That's my son. Yes, I am sure that's my son. That's my son. Mario Lopez is my son.
What does the family know about what happened here today? Obviously, the U.S. Marshal is saying that he had a gun and they also they had to fire. He did not stop. What do you have to say about what transpired today?
About him firing a weapon, I have no idea what to say about that because that's a shock to me. I mean, if they were after him, they could have stopped it. He was not going to resist against them, you know. And he's telling me that he's trying to get his life back together.
Have you been to the hospital? Do you know the update of your?
They don't even want to tell us the hospital he's at. They don't want to let us know nothing. I asked the cops over there, let me speak to a supervisor. No supervisor came to my attention. No supervisor said nothing to me. I'm over there screaming. I got epilepsy, and I have just got back surgery, and I'm over there trying to deal with this, and they're over there telling me nothing, and this is not right.
With all due respect, the U.S. Marshal has stated that there was a car chase. Your son did not stop. He got out of his car, showed a weapon, and then ran from the U.S. Marshal again. I mean, why wouldn't he stop when they first tried to pull him over in the car?
I don't know. I have no idea on that.
He was failing to comply with supervised release. That's why there was a warrant out for his arrest.
But that no. The thing that's going on here, that a lot of people are coming out of the prison system right now on parole. They're trying to get their lives back. Everybody's treating them like they ain't worth nothing in this life, you know?
What is your son's name?
Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez. That Stephen Courtney, if you want to step back, you can see that obviously this is still a very active and fluid scene. The family of that suspect we know was critically shot by the U.S. Marshal. I'm going to try to set the scene for you here. Obviously, the family is on scene, the police, MPD securing this area, the U.S. Marshal remain here. Lincoln Avenue is blocked off for about 2 blocks. Now, as we mentioned, the U.S. Marshal came to this area looking for a wanted man. That man's father identifies him as Mario Lopez. They found him here on the south side. The man did not give up without a fight. Now, tonight, he's in critical condition after getting shot by the officers with the U.S. Marshal. Now, we're told this man first ran away in the car. There was a brief car chase, and then he stopped the red car, jumped out, and started to run. But when he got out of that car, officers with the U.S. Marshals say that they saw a gun, and several shots were in fact fired during a separate foot chase. At this point, it's unclear if this individual actually fired his gun first, simply showed the weapon to the U.S. Marshal. All of that is still under investigation. As you heard the father of this suspect say, it's unclear as to why they shot his son, but we do know that the U.S. Marshal is saying that they in fact tried to stop this individual. The U.S. Marshal official talked to us about 30 minutes ago. Here's what they had to say about this incident here on the south side.
The subject revealed a weapon. Our officers engaged in fire with that subject. He was struck. He is in critical condition. He's been taken to a local hospital. He is not deceased. My officers are fine.
Back here on the scene, again, we do not know how many shots were fired. Witnesses in this area tell me that they heard anywhere from 8 to 9 shots coming from different weapons. So at this point, we don't know how many U.S. Marshal officials were here on the scene, how many were involved in this chase and this foot pursuit, but ultimately, in the end, that suspect, Mario Lopez, who was identified by the victim's father, is in critical condition at an area hospital. We'll most definitely continue to follow this breaking news story, hear more from the family, and hopefully get another update from law enforcement officials as well. On your side, live on the city's south side with breaking news, Jermont Terry, today's TMJ4.
Jermont, I know you said details are sketchy on, shots fired, but do we know if the suspect actually fired his gun or if it was just the U.S. Marshals firing at him?
According to the U.S. Marshal, they say when the individual stopped the car, he showed a weapon. At that point, according to Kevin Carr, who spoke about 30 minutes ago from the U.S. Marshal, he said that's when the agents actually fired. So at this point, we do know that a weapon was shown. It's unclear if the suspect actually simply brandished his weapon or if he actually fired a shot at the Marshals, but we have to point out that there was already a chase, and that individual ran from Marshals the first time, and when he stopped the car, they saw the weapon, and they obviously fired many shots.
And Jermont, I know Mr. Mario Lopez, who we've identified now on the air as being the person that was involved in this, is being defended by his father as being a good kid. Let's point out his criminal history here as well. He does have a history of gang affiliations, and I'm looking right here at his federal indictment from 2007 for being a felon in possession of a firearm. So while Dad does say that he is trying to turn his life around, he does have a fairly extensive record with law enforcement, both local and federal.